for people that are just new to guitar and want some different ideas on how to play chords, one of the basic things that you should memorize and know is it never changes, is the notes all go in the same order over and over and over again. For example, this string open is E, and here's F, and that's relevant, by the way, if you're new to guitar, because you'll notice I didn't say this was E sharp. I said it was F, because there is no sharp or flat between E and F. So you go E, open, then here's F, then every one of these things between these bars are called frets, and these are called fret bars. So that you don't have to really, this is called the nut, by the way. And by the way, this isn't glued on. And by the way, you can buy this at any music store for cheap, and they probably would give you one if you talk nice to them. Same for this thing down here, by the way. This is also, it's not glued in. They're not supposed to be glued in. Anyways, back to my point. The notes go all in the same order. Open, this is E, and you should know this. I'll ask you, is there a sharp or flat between E and F? Hello?
No.
No, there's not. So E, F, F sharp, G. That's why they have them marked usually with these dots, by the way, so you can kind of, like me, you can't remember it. And they're usually on the side of your guitar, too. That's what they're here for, so you don't have to keep peeking down. So let's begin again. E, there's no sharp or flat between F, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, and once again, there is no sharp or flat between B and C. So it goes from B to C to C sharp to D sharp to E. And that's why, if you'll look, it's got double dots, because they want you to know that's your octave. So those are the same, it's this octave up. And the reason that's relevant, once you memorize and know that E, F, F sharp, G sharp, what's A sharp, B, C sharp, D, E. Once you know that, now you can play chords all over the place without trying. For example, let's say you play a D, for example. You should know your D before, so you know a D. Now listen and watch. The same thing applies. If, like we said, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, what comes after D is E. Okay, so if I'm playing E, D, this is D sharp, and this is E. And that's a fact. And if this is E, which it is, then you know this is F, because there's no sharp or flat between E and F. It's that simple. And now since that is F, this is F sharp, and here's G. Here's G sharp, and here's A. And that should sound like this. It does. There's an A too, by the way, a bar. It's just an octave higher, maybe even 2 octaves higher. But okay, so now that's relevant, and here's why. If you play an E, which is kind of what everybody, it's one of the first chords people learn is these 3 fingers of your E. If you go towards the floor with those 3 fingers in the same position, but just drop it down a string, you're going to play what they call A minor, which is this. So here's an E, and here's an A minor. I just went towards the floor. And the reason that's relevant is, well, I'll get to that in a minute. Actually, I wanted to show you something else. This is an A7th. It's a type of an A7th. There's a lot of ways of playing it. And what I'm doing is I am playing an A with, a typical A is these 3 strings right here, as you well know. And all I'm doing is leaving that 3rd string open, and that's an A7th. Again, typically an A are these 3 strings, so I'm just leaving the middle one open. The 3rd string open. And I'm going to play with my baby finger and my ring finger for a reason. And because that is A7th. And remember the progression we talked about, which is they always go in the same order all the time. And those are going to be your chords. If this is an A7th, which it is, then that means this is A sharp 7th, which means this is G 7th, which means this is G sharp 7th, which means, I think I made a mistake.
Sorry.
Did I?
A to
G.
Yeah, I meant B.
Do over.
Okay, so I went, let's do it over. Okay, from, yeah, I went from, okay, here's an A7th, and this will be a A sharp 7th, and this will be a B 7th, and there is no sharp or flat between B and C, so this is going to be a C 7th automatically, C sharp 7th, D 7th, D sharp 7th, and E 7th. And so that's good to know. And you should, if you have trouble thinking about what I said, then just look at this video again a few times, and it'll become clearer. It's relevant. I want to show you one last thing before you turn your video off. So I like to play that A with just one finger, and like that. And I don't worry about that last string. I don't worry about hitting it. I just use this part of this little fat on my finger to numb it, so you can't hear it. So I got these three. That's an A. That's an A sharp. That's a B. That's a B sharp. And again, there's no flat or sharp between B and C. This is nothing mystical. It's just that's the way it is. There is no sharp or flat. So that's B. Here's C. C sharp. D. And this is E. And actually, if you'll notice, ladies and gentlemen, this is what they call power chords too. You see it a lot in rock and roll. You'll see the guys going. That's what they call power chords. They're actually just playing those three. See how they're going up to E because they're playing in E. You know. So that's about that. It's enough for one day. Thank you very much. If you like it, keep coming back. We're going to have more of the same. Thank you very much.